Let's walk through the 2023 Beneplan Annual Report. The annual report is a reflection of the activities and trends of the Beneplan Employee Benefits Cooperative. The Beneplan Cooperative is an employer-owned buying group for group health benefits and group insurance in Canada. The purpose of the cooperative is to reduce costs for employee benefits as low as possible in a sustainable fashion year after year without using artificial marketing discounts that expire after a few years. The secondary purpose of the cooperative is to reduce and eliminate as much risk as possible to employers. The majority of employers who join the cooperative tend to be small and medium businesses in Canada. However, there are smaller and larger businesses that have chosen to join the cooperative. Let's go through the report, and let's be mindful of the fact that this is the 23rd year of the cooperative's annual report being sent to members and also being posted publicly online. While this is not a publicly traded company and we are not obligated to publish these results, we could keep them private. Beneplan chooses to keep them aware publicly so that there's more transparency, accountability, and trust within the cooperative. So 2023 had a number of trends that impacted the whole situation. Definitely, we have a lower dividend than previous years. In 2023, the total accrued surpluses were $1.14 million. This represents excess profit typically kept by insurance carriers that will be refunded to member owners. Member owners are employers or plan sponsors. The total health and dental premiums that were in the cooperative were $30 million. This represents an increase of 3% from the prior year. Please note that Beneplan Inc., as a separate business and a third-party administrator, may have clients outside of the cooperative that are not reported in this report for privacy reasons. Total health and dental claims were $24 million, just under $25 million, which is an increase of 6.3% compared to 2022. Ozempic was the number one claimed medicine in 2023. Mental health services continue to experience a rise in claimed services across the cooperative. And our company, outside of the cooperative, handled just under 500 HR cases, whereby Beneplan has what we call the HR toolkit, which includes second opinion support through an HR advisor, a dedicated employer-side HR advisor that helps with both templates, letters, and advice for managers dealing with difficult talent issues. Our client support team answered 4,500 emails with an average resolution time of 6.5 hours. The top 3 customer questions were dental claims, mental health claims, and travel claims. Beneplan welcomes several new groups to the cooperative and continue to implement new member education campaigns. We continue to work in partnership with external advisors to grow the membership of the co-op. Advisors in the field continue to see aggressive quoting in the marketplace from competitors to draw away existing and new members. These quoting tactics include offering unsustainable no entry rates, followed by stark increases upon plan renewal. Looking a little bit deeper, the average dividend per policy member in 2023 would be $3,600. Please note that when we use the word dividend, it might be interchanged with refund. This is because it's purely a refund of health and group benefits premiums paid by the employer that did not go towards either claims, expenses like fees, reserves, or premium tax. Just under 4% was the dividends as a percentage of health and dental premiums on average. This is an interesting number because Beneplan, just like all other insurance carriers, will set a trend or an inflation mark within the premiums to budget for an increase in claims. And an increase in claims due to both increasing the usage of each item and increasing the price or the cost per item as well. So, for example, if typically dental inflation is 10%, then a 4% refund would show that the real cost of dental went up by 6% as a blend of increasing in the actual price of the service as well as the member's propensity to use the service. The actual health and dental loss ratio under the cooperative was 81%, just under 82%. And so this is interesting because the average target loss ratio of each group within the cooperative is 85%. If you're not sure what target loss ratio means, it basically is the margin that your benefits provider allocates towards their compensation and fees for both their intermediary, such as the advisor, the TPA, and also the insurance carrier. So this 85% average blended target loss ratio across the cooperative, we say that because different groups have different target loss ratios based on the risk and the size of the business. But it's very competitive compared to the rest of the market. Knowing that this is still a fully insured plan that's on refund basis, 82% is the actual health and dental loss ratio, shows that the claims came in pretty close to premiums, even when fees were accounted for. And so there you go. There's sort of that difference, the 3.72% as the refund coming back. And the smallest dividend paid was $24 in this year. It's interesting. The reason why we report the smallest dividend is because the goal of the cooperative is not to produce refunds or dividends artificially, just so that we can say, hey, we're giving you money back. That's not the goal. The goal of the cooperative is to reduce expenses as much as possible while eliminating risk, especially ASO type risk or self-insurance risk, as much as possible. So therefore, when we think about a refund, we think it actually behaves more similarly to getting a tax refund from Revenue Canada. You might be pleased that you're getting money back from the government. However, this money was money of tax that you paid too much throughout the previous calendar year. In fact, you might be waiting for this money for 15 months, 18 months, depending upon your circumstances. So when we say $24 is the smallest dividend paid, it's because we are very proud of that dividend. We're proud that our underwriters were able to very efficiently set the rates so that it did not push the group in deficit, but there was enough room to pay fees, reserves, taxes, and expenses, claims. Then we also look at the ROI of using an advisor to bring in good results. And so Beneplan distributes through the independent advisor channel. And we do that because we think it's really important that we scale the message of this member-owned cooperative. Everybody's receiving a mutual benefit of size and participating in these great savings. And so there is a huge return on investment when members do choose to go through the advisor channel, coming to Beneplan. Then they actually have a huge return on investment. Meaning, how we calculate this is we take the average member's dividend, and then we look at that as a ratio between that and the commission or fees paid to the advisor. And every single year that we've done this number, it always benefits the member, whereby you are net receiving more money in your pocket as a business owner by using an advisor. The largest dividend paid in 2023 was $41,000. Again, it's not the point of the cooperative, but this also shows that if this group had been with a different insurance company on a fully insured basis, $41,000 would have been the amount of money that the insurance company kept as additional surplus profit over and above the fees that the insurer had already collected. And then 30 was the number of members with dividends less than $1,000, indicating efficient rate setting. So we're very, very proud. When we look at this report, there's different terms that we use in here. So take a look at these words, because it might help to explain some of the other language in the report. In terms of the management report, what we're doing is we're looking at navigating the price tag of innovative medications. Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro are new medicines approved by Health Canada for both diabetes and obesity. And this brings an average price tag of $4,000 per person per year and up, which did not hit plans prior to 2023. This is a large expense that is impacting employers. There's also some issues with sustained financial stability among healthcare practitioners. There were many crises last year. There was input cost inflation, a fear of recession, and a pullback of budgets. There was an abundance of layoffs in certain sectors, such as the tech sector, and also any real estate sector or any company that would be affected negatively by higher interest rates. Some of the other macroeconomic challenges that the cooperative faced included mergers and acquisitions and catch-up travel plans causing large claims due to unforeseen medical circumstances. So when we look at the trend of premiums versus claims on one of our blocks, we are noticing that claims are going up. However, they're going up at a larger acceleration than in previous years due to inflation. Premiums are also going up, but so far the premiums have not necessarily kept up compared to prior years. Although the year 2020 was not a normal year, neither was 2021 because of the COVID lockdowns and because a lot of Beneplan's members are Ontario based, where we had 5 different lockdowns, and lockdowns were stay-at-home orders where people were told stay away from hospitals unless it's absolutely an emergency. Planned surgeries were canceled and delayed. So you had this artificial effect here. The 64% loss ratio in that year was not normal. The following 2 years, the 75% and 79% did return to normal. However, we have this pendulum effect where this 81% is actually a very high and abnormal actual loss ratio for the cooperative. The cooperative typically is around the mid 70s ratio. So that just shows that we still are experiencing a post-pandemic, post-inflation, post-interest rates, post-government change in policy economy, which is impacting the cost of claims. When we look at the claims volume, we're looking that the average cost per claim has increased from $58 in 2020 to $68 in 2023. Claims by category, so definitely dental was the largest with 40%, followed by medicine at 31%, paramedical services at 19%, and then other at 10%. Some of the health and dental trends we're noticing is that mental health services is definitely being claimed for a much higher proportion than in previous years. We're still seeing the same sort of numbers in terms of prescription vision care. Massage, chiro, and physio have all experienced a jump in cost per claim, and that is just a normal part of this benefit being available to everybody. And that includes other pieces like osteopath as well. When we look at the top 10 categories of extended health services claimed by Beneplan members with Green Shield, please note this is not our entire block. This is just the Green Shield population compared to the cooperatives population. We look at the dental services showing that there is a large increase in cost per claim. And so the total bottom line increase on the dental benefit was just under 7%. This is meaningful because the dental fee guide prior to the pandemic used to be increased by about 3 to 4% per year. However, after the pandemic, the Ontario Dental Association and other associations across Canada, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Quebec, etc., increased their dental fee guides by 9% or more. And so that has definitely made a huge impact in the cost of providing the dental benefit. When we look at the prescription drug benefit, definitely we still have biological drugs as the number one claim from a total dollars rendered amount, followed by diabetes, medicine, including categories like the Ozempic piece, followed by mental health, and then we have other heart and cancer conditions following as well. Diabetes has definitely been predicted to be the number one cost medicine year over year, and we're seeing it come through in the numbers. When we look at the long-term disability benefit, we also notice that there's a number of trends, macroeconomic trends that are affecting the long-term disability benefit. Things that are helping the members' long-term disability costs are pieces like higher interest rates, because when there's higher interest rates, insurance companies are able to invest the reserves and earn a higher amount of money. So therefore, hopefully they need less money today to account for future claims. Some of the things that is hindering the cooperative's LTD benefit are pieces such as the delay in planned surgeries, the layoffs, musculoskeletal claims going up because we have an aging population. But it's funny because the pandemic didn't necessarily decrease LTD claims dramatically. We find that because of the economy, because of inflation, the cost of gas, the cost of groceries, that we find people just can't afford to be off work the way it used to be, and people are going back to work sooner, driven by the economic situation. With paramedical claims, we continue to see an increase for massage, chiro, physio, and other items. We encourage you to take a look through the whole report. We're not going to walk through every single piece, but we think it's important to take a look at some of the areas and trends that are affecting benefits And it's also important to talk to your advisor about what are the things that you can do as an employer or a plan administrator to help manage your costs downwards. There are a lot of costs involved in a benefit plan, and there's a lot of plan management ideas that the member can look through. So take a look, have a read through, and then finally, we do encourage you to join the board of directors of the Beneplan Co-operative. If you're a member of Beneplan, the board governance is a very critical piece of being part of the cooperative. We have board members that represent the actual plan sponsors or the clients of the cooperative. These are small, medium, and large businesses. These are business leaders, business owners, CFOs, accountants, and people leaders, HR leaders as well, that help us be good custodians of this plan. So member meetings happen periodically, and feel free to send us a note if you'd like to see the minutes. In the appendix of the annual report, we have the financial statements. We're not going to go through everything just here, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can send us a message to service@beneplan.ca, and we'll be happy to take a look.